Hello, my book buddies. How are you guys doing? Welcome to another one of my videos. I just want to say I'm sorry about the look. We had the 4th of July. We had 3 days off. We did absolutely nothing but relax. I did run a 5K race. On the 4th of July, it was like a Freedom 5K, and I won 3rd place in my women's division. I'm like super excited about that. After that, we went and hung out with a bunch of friends. We had a huge barbecue, a shindig, watched fireworks. I mean, it was an amazing time. And then the 2 days after that were just completely like resting, doing absolutely nothing. Today, it's just been busy. I've been catching up on chores inside. I did some work this morning outside. You know, we're getting into like 3.5 weeks until our sewing competition. So I've been really working hard to bust that out. And I've been getting some homeschooling stuff done because as a homeschool mom, we don't really get much of a summer. It's mostly spent just preparing the new curriculum for my boys. But let's get to talking about books. I do have my handy little book journal here. So for the month of June, I actually did really good. I read 9 books. 9 books in June. What? I'm kind of surprised. Considering how busy I am, considering everything that I'm getting done. Those of you who've been maybe following me and watching my videos and stuff can attest. Normally on average, I get maybe 6 books in a month. So starting out with the first book I read in June, and boy did we start with a bang. I read Vampire Academy, and I read book 2, which is Vampire Academy, Ruthless Fae. Now, I don't want to touch too much into these two books, because I am going to have an entire vlog where you guys get to see my first impressions as I'm reading all 9 books. It's going to be kind of a big vlog because there are 9 books, but I will say that Zodiac Academy is really good. It follows 2 twins that lived in the human world. Parents died, they were orphans, and then they get picked up and brought to a Fae Academy where they are told that they are princesses, that their father and mother were the king and queen of the realm, and that they died. Okay, and then you got these 4 heirs. All 4 of the parents have been kind of sharing the role of ruling the kingdom. They don't want to give up their claim. They're definitely very mean to the 2 girls. There is definitely a bully troop in here. They're both so good. I think I read book 1 in like 1 day. It was definitely a 5-star for me, and Ruthless Fae ended up being a 4.5 star. And the reason for that is just mainly because the squabbling was getting to me a little bit. And again, I think that's just because I'm a 41-year-old woman who's just like, children, knock it off. Just communicate, you know? That, I think, is the only reason why I gave that a 4.5. So please take that with a grain of salt. I'm a mom. I listen to my boys fight at each other constantly, and so sometimes the little back and forth, it just got to me just a tiny bit, just enough to like take off half of a star. Okay, but it was still a very good read, and I absolutely ate it up. And I love this world. I love Orion and Darcy are quickly becoming my 2 favorite couples of all time. I don't know what it is about the 2 of them, but oh my gosh, I love it. And I love their chemistry, and I love the differences between them that kind of bring them together. Cannot wait to find out what happens further in the series. The next books I read are also going to be in a vlog that you're actually going to see next. After this video, I'm putting out a 24-hour reading vlog video. I was genuinely curious. I've been seeing these all over YouTube, how many books I could read in 24 hours. I'm only going to touch on them briefly because, again, I talk more about them in my vlog, which is coming. So the first one I read was No More Secrets by Lucy Score. This was a 4-star read for me, and I liked how light and fluffy it was. There wasn't a lot of drama, a lot of will they, won't they. There wasn't, all of that stuff. It was just a cute, short story of just 2 people coming together and falling in love and learning to trust in that love and learning to trust in each other, to lean on somebody else, letting go of your fears. Such a good book. It is part of the Blue Moon series, and my plan is to read all of the books. So this is just book 1. Then next, I read The Queen of Blood by Sarah Beth Durst. I gave this 3.75 stars. I actually surprisingly loved it. It's a fantasy book. There's really like this much romance, maybe a little bit, you know, and it's not between the two. It's not between the FMC and the MMC. The FMC and the MMC have more of a teacher-student type of relationship, and so her relationship ends up being with somebody else, but it's not like the center story, right? Like, it gives little hints here and there that, you know, they're kind of in a romantic relationship, that they have feelings for each other, but it's not something that is entirely focused on. It's just touched on like a little bit here, a little bit there. You have a bunch of little sprites, all like different elements: fire, water, earth. There's one queen of this realm, and it's her job to keep all the sprites in line, because if you don't have the queen keeping the sprites in line, then the sprites go around and they kill people. Or, you know, mostly it's just about this girl, and it starts out with her, almost her entire village being wiped out, and the only reason why her and her family survived is because her powers awoken and she was able to keep the sprites away. If they have powers, they go to this academy. If they pass the trials to get into the academy, they train to be heirs. When a queen dies, all of the heirs end up like in this foresty circle area where the sprites end up picking a new queen, and then it's that queen's responsibility to then take care of all of the sprites, keep them in line, and keep them from killing people. It was a really good story, and I loved the fantasy in here. I loved the world building. I loved everything about it was amazing. And of course, it was the cover that drew me. My husband actually saw this and he handed it to me, and I read the back of it and I was like, you know what? Yes. The next book I read was Carnal Urges, which is book 2 of A Queen and Monsters. So the first book was Ruthless Creatures. This book was so good. I knew it was going to be good because it was about the FMC of book 1. It's about that girl's best friend. And this book was funny. It was so funny. And I knew it was going to be because this girl, the FMC in this book, she's got a sense of humor, and she can be put through a lot and not even care. Like, she gets captured, they want this information out of her, and she's just acting like it's just no big deal. Her grandma picked her up for a Sunday picnic, right? Like, you know, whatever. She punches somebody that kidnaps her and then later apologizes. I'm sorry that I punched you. You know, you were just kind of kidnapping me. But like, she doesn't even care that she's being kidnapped, and she's just throwing all of her kidnappers off. So the whole love interest between her and the main mobster in the Irish mob is, he doesn't know what to do with her because he can't seem to scare her. She's just like, whatever, dude, whatever. Like, you got frown lines. You should probably stop doing that. Like, he's threatening to, like, torture her, and she's just like, you realize frowning like that's going to give you wrinkles. Like, it's not phasing her, and he's just, like, flabbergasted. And so he gets frustrated with her, and so he'll send somebody else, one of his other minions, in to, like, give her food or something else, and then they walk out, like, friends with her and practically on her side. And he's always making comments like, oh my gosh, if I send any more of my men and it's going to be a mutiny, and then you're going to be the one that's the leader of the mob. And so it's just, it was so good. So good. Now, the ending of it bothered me a little bit, which is partly why it only got 4 stars, because I'm so invested with these characters and the characters from Ruthless Creatures. They just don't want to get along. The 2 best friends from both books, they're best friends, they're practically sisters, and they're both dating men that are just in this huge rival, right? They're like rival gangs, and you just want them to get along so that the 2 girls can, you know, still be in each other's lives. And when, just as you think it's going to work out, the end of the book, it just throws you for a loop. And so that's why I ended up knocking it a star. Otherwise, it would have been a 5-star. I wanted to take the book and slap each of the guys upside the head. But that's beside the point. So next I wanted to go back into some romantasy. So I read My Demon Hunter by Aurora Ashker. And as I was reading this book, I got into like a few pages of it, and I realized this was part of a series. This was book 2 in the Hellbent series. So, oops. It was a really good book. I gave this 3.5 stars. I did feel a little lost in the beginning, but I quickly got into the world. And so basically, This is all about a demon hunter, his master. She's like the queen of hell, and it's his job to hunt down other demons and bring them back to hell. He is tasked to go to the human world and bring back these certain demons that had run away, pretty powerful demons. And so then he gets there, he sees these other demons, and instead of turning them in, he gets fascinated by the human world, and he decides that he wants to get to know the humans, and he wants to find his own human girl, which he ends up meeting at a store. And he's just so awkward because he doesn't really know much about humans, and so he kind of talks funny and stuff, but she's here for it. And I love the FMC because she is my physicalness, right? Like, she's not skinny. She's not the size 4 jeans. No, she's a bit on the bigger side, and she's got all these body issues, and she's had people make fun of her in school, and she never feels good enough. She never feels pretty enough. And then this demon comes in, this guy comes in, and he just sees nothing but beauty. He sees her as the most gorgeous thing under the sun. And it takes her a bit to, accept it, but then she does, right? It was a really good book, and I definitely cannot wait to go back. I have decided that I want to get book 1 and read book 1, and then I want to continue the series. And of course, I already know, because I've met all the characters, I already know who ends up in a relationship from book 1, but it'll be nice to go back and actually read their story and see their love unfold. Then I read Flawless by Elsie Silver. Oh my goodness, you guys, so good. Full on 4-star, baby. I had forgotten how much I loved cowboy romance. It has to have been 15 years or close to 15 years for me since I have read a cowboy romance. That long. And this book just reminded me how much I love cowboy romances. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. It's like a full-on bull rider. She's his agent's daughter, and it's like that whole forbidden, like, we can't do this, but we're gonna do it anyways. Had some great spice moments in there, and bull riding and horses and just country, and I was here for every second of it. And then next came my second 6-star book of the year. You heard me right. City of Gods and Monsters, which is part of the House of Devils series. And again, I'm not going to get into this too terribly much because I'm also doing another vlog. Yes, I know. I've another vlog. But hey, you know what? I'm having fun with them. And they'll take me a bit of time. You will see them. 4 is supposed to come out tomorrow. And even though I've only read this one, I still want to get it because it's going to be so awesome to do a whole vlog on my first experiences of reading this entire series and then ending with the new book that just came out. This book was incredible. It definitely had bodyguard type vibes to it. And it does remind me of Crescent City in a small itty bitty way, not a ton. A regular technology world, so you've got cell phones and power and all sorts of things like that, but you also have magic, and there's vampires and werewolves and angels and demons, and it's just, this book literally had everything, and I love Darien Castle. I just want to hug that man and never let go of him. I mean, he is power incarnate. He's all bodyguard. I will protect her or die trying. Oh, I love him so much. He has become one of my top book boyfriends. And I loved Loren too. She was very down to earth. She was okay being the way that she is. Yes, her life's been kind of hard. She's been made fun of because she's just a lowly human, and they kind of treat humans pretty poorly in this world. She's also not very boohoo about it. It's just the way it is. And she's not so stubbornly annoying where she is unwilling to ask for help. Hey, don't go in there. Wait in the car for me. And she's like, okay, I'll wait in the car for you, right? Most FMCs would have been like, screw you, or wait until the guy leaves and then get out of the car and then proceed to get herself in some kind of trouble, right? She wasn't like that. She was just, she rebelled a couple times, but that was mainly due to her stepsister's influence. But for the most part, she was just very, this is who I am. This is what I have available. and I'll hang on to that and accept the help. I also loved the found family. She gets to go into this house full of these really powerful magic users. They kind of just make her a part of them. It's very empowering for her as this human to be so important to all of these people and be a part of this family. It was just a really, really good book. And despite how thick it was, because like I was worried that things were going to get seriously messed up. But surprisingly, considering how thick this book was, I didn't get bored. It wasn't repetitive. It didn't over-explain. Just so much happens in this book. I swear, every like 100 pages, something would happen that would be normally a ending of a book. You'd read that and then you're like, oh my gosh, what can they do to top this? And then they top it. And then it's like, okay, well, that's got to be it. There's nothing they can top that. And then something else happens and tops that. And so at this point, I'm not even surprised that the next book is like going to be even bigger than this. And I'm not even worried about getting bored, because with the way that they just my brain with this book, I cannot wait to see what happens next with these guys. Like, legit. I decided that I needed some fluffy. So then I read Book Lovers, and I ate this book up. This was my second Emily Henry book that I read. This one was easily a 4-star book. I loved it that much. It definitely gave me Hallmark movie vibes. Yeah, okay, so this is what Emily Henry had to say. I love Hallmark movies. I love the quaint settings. I love the excessive number of sweaters and knee-high boots. I love the aspirational level of commitment to seasonal decor in every home. Most of all, I love the happy endings. And having seen enough of these low-angst, made-for-TV delights, I found myself fascinated with one particular iteration of the small-town romance. It goes like this. An uptight, joyless, career-obsessed main character gets shipped off from the big city they call home to conduct business in middle America. They don't want to go. They don't even have the right shoes for this kind of setting, but once they're there, not only do they manage to fall in love with one of the sweet small-town locals, but they also manage to learn the true meaning of life. And everyone ends up happy. Well, everyone except for the ex, the woman or man left behind in the city whose entire role is usually to call the lead character and bark at them over the phone, remind them that they were sent to small-town USA for business, to conduct a mass layoff, or to crush the local toy imperium so Big Toy can open its 667th location in the heart of the town, while maybe bulldozing a gazebo or two on the way. She's an obstacle to the real love story, the meant-to-be relationship, or she's a foil to the local sweetheart, there primarily to show how much better the other woman understands the lead, or she's the not evil, just out of touch little devil on his shoulder, trying to lead him astray from this new, better life. She goes on to say more, but I just wanted to read that little exempt because that was basically what this book was about. The FMC right here, she is that Hallmark person that loses her man, and not just one, like she loses like 4 who end up, for some weird reason, going to a small town, falling in love, dumping her, saying that she's not emotional, she probably won't even care, that they fell in love with somebody else. This is that side of Hallmark's happily ever after. This is that person getting their happily ever after and getting to see deeper into what these people are really about, and that maybe they're not as bad as they're led to believe. And I absolutely loved that take on this story. It was very good. It's definitely a book that I will read again, and I can't wait to read more Emily Henry books. You know, summer is here, and so she has a book that's called Beach Read, and I kind of want to read that. We're going to be going camping here really soon, and I'm thinking about picking that book up and reading that while we're out camping. I can hang out next to the lake, dip my toes in the water, and then just read, and it just sounds like it would be a great time. So that concludes all 9 books that I read for the month of June. I was really impressed with how many I got through. Now that I've talked forever, and I'm incredibly hot because it's like 90 degrees outside, and I had to close my door to do this video so you guys could hear me, and I am now officially roasting in here. I am going to end this video here. I hope everybody has a fantastic week. Let me know what books you guys are reading at this moment. Let's just, talk about it. I'm genuinely curious. If you're reading a book, what book are you reading right now? And without giving any spoilers, tell me what you're thinking about it so far. This is the book I'm currently reading right now, and it's not as bad as I thought it was. And that's all I'm going to say, because I'll talk about that in my July reads. I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.